Hello everyone, my name is Miss Belinda for Social Studies Primary 6 second lesson, still based on the islands of Seychelles. So for this lesson we are going to focus on the types of islands. The objectives of the lesson will be to identify Granitic and Coralline islands and to give differences between the Granitic and the Coralline islands. So if we just go back to what we've seen so far, in the last lesson we saw what is an archipelago, why Seychelles is considered as an archipelago, how many islands are there in the Seychelles Archipelago, the main island in the Seychelles Archipelago and why. And we also described the location of Seychelles in relation to the ocean, the equator or hemisphere, and the neighboring countries. So this is what we discussed, we saw last time. An archipelago is a group of islands. Seychelles is considered as an archipelago because it is a group of islands. There are altogether 115 islands in the Seychelles Archipelago, again talking about the natural islands. And Seychelles contains 7 reclaimed or what we call man-made islands. Mahé is the main island in the Seychelles Archipelago, simply because the capital of Seychelles, Victoria, is found on Mahé. Mahé is also the largest island, the most populated, and the main port, Port Victoria, is found on Mahé. The location of Seychelles, Seychelles is located in the Indian Ocean, in the southern hemisphere. This is below the equator. It is found north of Mauritius and Réunion, northeast of Madagascar, east of Kenya and Tanzania, and southwest of India, Sri Lanka, and Maldives. So this is what we saw last time. So we are going to move on today, looking at the different types of islands. We know that there are altogether 115 islands in the Seychelles Archipelago, talking about the natural islands. We also know that Seychelles contains 7 reclaimed or what we call man-made islands. But we are going to focus on the 115 natural islands. So here I have a picture of one island in the Seychelles Archipelago. Which island is this? This is Denis Island. Look at it carefully. Okay. We have another island, and this is Ladig Island. A big hello to you on Ladig. So what is the main difference between those two islands? When you look at the pictures, what is the main difference between those two islands? Between Denis Island and Ladig Island. Look carefully. Very good. Denis Island is flat. Okay, when you look at the picture, it is flat, no mountains. Whereas Ladig is high with mountains, meaning Ladig is mountainous. So this is the main difference between those two islands. Denis Island is flat and Ladig is mountainous. All right? So in the Seychelles Archipelago, there's a group of islands similar to Denis Island, meaning a group of islands which is flat. So what name is given to this group of islands? Okay, this group of islands is called Coralline Islands. Okay, this group of islands similar to Denis Island, flat, it is called Coralline Islands. There's another group of islands similar to Ladig, mountainous. So what name do you think we give to this group of islands? This group of islands is called Granitic Islands, meaning the Seychelles Archipelago is made up of 2 types of islands. Again, we're talking about natural islands. We have Granitic Islands and Coralline Islands. So, what can you say about the Granitic and the Coralline Islands? According to what we've seen, the pictures, what can we say about those 2 islands? We can say that Granitic Islands are high with mountains, or they are mountainous, and Coralline Islands are flat, all right? So, can you think of other granitic islands in the Seychelles Archipelago? Meaning islands which are mountainous. Still thinking? Okay, we have Mahe, very good. What else? Coralline, yes, we can see the picture of Coralline. Mountains. Yes, Silhouette is another one. Keep thinking. Of course, we have Cousin Island. Yes, Saint Anne is another one. North Island. So all these islands are granitic islands. They are mountainous. So altogether, there are 41 granitic islands in the Seychelles Archipelago. And all those islands are close to Mahe. All islands close to Mahe, they are granitic islands. Okay, don't forget we are focusing on the natural islands. Now, let's look at some characteristics of granitic islands. Definitely the first one we have seen, they are mountainous. Okay. They are made up of granite rocks. So here we can see some pictures of granite rocks, or what we call granite boulders. Okay, we can also see how lovely our Seychelles is. Okay, so those are granite rocks. So other characteristics of the granitic islands, they have lots of vegetation. And granitic islands also get lots of rainfall. Okay, so the characteristics of granitic islands, they are mountainous, they are made up of granite rocks, they have lots of vegetation, and they get lots of rainfall. Some other characteristics of granitic islands include the lush vegetation cover, the network of small streams or rivers, and the red, acidic, and loamy soils. So let's look at the Coralline Islands now. So can you think of other Coralline Islands in the Seychelles Archipelago apart from Dennis Island? Of course, we have the Aldabra Atoll. Okay? And don't forget that Aldabra Atoll is a World Heritage Site in the Seychelles. So yes, Aldabra Atoll is a Coralline island. Des Roches is another one. We have this one, Saint-Joseph, Poivre, Daros. Okay, all these are Coralline islands. We can see that they are flat, no mountains at all. And we have the famous Bird Island as well. There are altogether 74 Coralline islands in the Seychelles Archipelago. So let's look at some characteristics of the Coralline islands. Definitely, like we've seen previously, they are flat. They are made up of sand and corals. They have little vegetation compared to the granitic islands. And they also get a little amount of rainfall during the year. Okay? So after all that we have discussed, seen, can you write down two differences between a granitic and a coralline island? I give you 2 minutes for that. You can use this structure. A granitic island is this. A coralline island is that. So, when looking at Coralline Islands, this group of islands is further divided into two groups. One group is sandy cays, and the other group is raised islands, or what we call atolls. Okay, let's look at this first group, sandy cays. So, These islands are less than 2 meters above sea level, created by ocean forces, depositing sand and debris onto all platform reef. When talking about reef, they are chains of corals lying at or near the surface of water. Okay? The other group is raised island or atolls. So raised island or atolls are raised reef corals, like we have seen previously, at approximately 8 meters above sea level. Aldabra is the world's largest raised coral reef and also the world's second largest atoll in the world. Okay, so what is it that we have seen so far? The Seychelles Archipelago is made up of 2 types of islands. We're talking about natural islands. They are granitic and coralline islands. Okay? Granitic islands, they are mountainous. They are made up of granite rocks. They have lots of vegetation. They get lots of rainfall. There are altogether 41 granitic islands in the Seychelles Archipelago. Coralline islands are flat. They are made up of sand and corals. They have little vegetation. They get little amount of rainfall. And there are altogether 74 coralline islands in the Seychelles Archipelago. And lastly, coralline islands are further divided into 2 groups, sandy cays, and the other group, raised islands, or what we call atolls. So that's it for today. Again, I ask you to remain safe, to go over your notes. Goodbye.